Good morning and welcome to Saturday Morning Constitution, where we're not here to argue politics, but to understand the foundations of our freedom. We're starting this morning in 1776, where the American colonists weren't just frustrated, they were finished. Finished with being taxed without a say, finished with British troops in their towns, finished with asking politely for rights they believed were already theirs. The Declaration of Independence wasn't about dreaming up new freedoms. It was about putting into writing what they believed and had experienced all along. That people have rights simply because they exist, that government exists to protect those rights, and if it doesn't, people have the right to change it. In July, the Continental Congress voted to declare independence. A 5-person committee, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Roger Sherman, and Robert Livingston, were appointed to draft it, with Jefferson taking the lead. And what they wrote became a powerful statement. All men are created equal with unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These weren't abstract theories. They were a reminder of what government is supposed to do and what happens when it doesn't. And to back it up, the Declaration includes 27 specific grievances. Block justice, armies in times of peace, shut down local governments, ignored petitions. To the colonists, these weren't just problems. They were proof that the government had broken its promise. The Declaration didn't outline a new government and it didn't end the war, but it made the purpose of that fight crystal clear, and it set the stage for what came next. 11 years later, the U.S. Constitution would carry these principles forward. Government by consent, limits on power, rights protected by law. The Declaration said why they were separating. The Constitution would say how they were going to govern themselves instead. So why do we celebrate July the 4th? Because it wasn't just the start of independence. It was when the colonies stood together and said, we believe in something better and we're willing to build it together. The Declaration of Independence wasn't a revolution in ideas. It was a stand for rights that had been promised but denied. These were rights that were expected. They just weren't being respected. So as you continue to enjoy barbecues, mattress sales, and fireworks this weekend, remember, we don't celebrate Independence Day because our country is perfect or the founders were great or got everything right. Many people feel conflicted, rightly, because freedom wasn't granted to everyone in 1776, and injustice still exists today. But we celebrate because that moment put a powerful idea into the world. The idea that people have rights that don't come from kings, crowns, or governments, and that those rights must be protected. We don't celebrate the perfection of that moment, but we do celebrate the promise of it. And the promise wasn't fulfilled then, but it gave us the tools to keep fighting for it now. And because the work of freedom didn't begin or end on July the 4th, 1776, it was the moment a bold promise was put into words and laid the foundation to move forward. And it is a promise we're still working to keep. So next week, we're going to talk about some core concepts of government, what they are, why they matter, why we ended up with what we ended up with. Until next time, stay curious, stay principled, and remember, understanding your freedom is part of a balanced breakfast.